Okay, we are live. Let's do it. Tracking the nor'easter now. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, really a three-part series, three-part kind of storm. Good news is that the worst impacts will be well to the south of Maine. Bad news is for New Jersey, Long Island, Connecticut, a lot in the way of wave action, coastal flooding. The other bad news is that this storm is going to be not putting the rain that's needed up in Maine, okay? So we'll get into all that right now in the forecast. I want to show you what's going on. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. If you're watching this live or you're watching this on replay. If you're watching it live, go ahead, throw a message into the chat room. If you're watching on replay, I'll try and get to those messages later. But let's get into the storm and show you what is going on. So here is your storm. It will not be a tropical storm. It's not going to have a warm core, but here's the beginning of it right here. Okay, so that's where the storm is kind of located, where it's going to, be throwing that moisture up from the south. Okay, you've got Jerry around here. Okay, Jerry is going to help to throw more waves towards the east coast, so that's not a great thing. But yeah, here is the beginning of the storm. All the moisture transport going up from the south, from the tropics. So there's going to be moisture, but the worst of it's going to stay offshore. Okay, so let's talk about this storm and in the weather highway up in the sky. What happens here, because the atmosphere is kind of like it's layers of an atmosphere, right? So I'm going to stop it here on Sunday night, Monday morning. So you've got big ridge here to the north. You've got a trough to the south. Okay, so this storm hits a roadblock on the weather highway. It has nowhere to go, so it basically gets suppressed and squashed to the south. So it doesn't ride all the way up the coast. Okay, and without that, it is not going to be a true, like, from basically all the way from the Carolinas or Virginia all the way up to Maine nor'easter, okay? It is going to stop, get squashed, and be suppressed, okay? So that ridge will stop it from pulling up north, okay? So the big ridge on the weather highway, big block, okay? It's like, think about it like, if something was trying to move from south to north, then there you go, and here we go. So here it is. Okay, here is the storm. This is now Sunday night into Monday. Here is your storm. Okay, so I'll show you here. Here's the low pressure system, 996 millibars. Okay, off the coast of Long Island. Okay, there's your center of the storm. Now, it's not going to have a lot of flooding rain. Basically a few inches of rain, maybe some urban issues there. But watch how the storm is going to be moving north a little bit, but it gets squashed. So yes, there's going to be an easterly fetch that throws a lot of wave action, a lot of wind, especially southern New England and the New York City, Tri State, New Jersey, Connecticut. But for Maine, the rain does not make it that far north. Okay, they're going to be up to 10 feet. The waves are going to be up to 10 feet in the southern coastal area of Maine. But that's where it's going to max out. It'll be 20 feet for New Jersey. Long Island Sound, I could see more than 20 feet from this. But watch me put the map into motion now, okay? And there it is. So the storm throws all that moisture here. Here's that flooding rain, okay, right up Westchester, right up basically the Hudson Valley, okay? All that moisture gets thrown from the north to north and west, just like a nor'easter, okay? Still, 997, not a super low pressure storm for a nor'easter, but the big issue here is that it gets blocked and it gets stopped, okay? So it just gets, all the moisture gets squeezed out right there and it stays there. So this rain's going to stay over the same spot Sunday night, Monday for a while, and then it does not pull northeast too far. It's going to stop here. See, the cutoff is basically from Freiburg south, from south of Rockland. Really, it's really like Bath. It's really not even quite the mid-coast. Really, it's really like Casco Bay, okay, in Maine, okay? So put the map into motion now, and it just sits there and spins and just kind of falls apart, and the rain continues now into Monday night and Tuesday into southern Maine especially, okay? It does not get most of Maine, where the rain is desperately needed. So this is not a storm that is going to break the drought in Maine. It was your best shot, in Maine, but it's not going to happen. It'll help York County, Cumberland County, southern Oxford, but it's not going to help that much. Now, fast forward now into Thursday, a little system comes by, the upper level low. There will be some rain on Thursday, some showers for northern Maine and down east that misses out on this storm. But still, I mean, it'll take every drop at this point, but it's not going to be a lot. Then I'll, just for, my friends in Maine here, I'll fast forward out a little bit here. This is now October 20th, the week of October 20th. Here comes a stronger storm. This one is stacked to our north and west, okay, drags a front through, but that would be some beneficial rain there, October 20th, okay. So the storm in more detail here, once again, I showed you the satellite picture, showed you the blocking going on the weather highway. Here is the drought in Maine. From everyone is as moderate. The whole of Maine is in a moderate drought. Severe drought for, it's a level D2 there. You see that here. That is for basically from D2 to D1 to D4, okay? And then D2 to D4, okay? So currently, 100% of the state, once again, is abnormally dry and also in a moderate drought. 72% is from D2 to D4. 29% is D3 to D4. No one is in exceptional drought yet. However, this here from the Western Mountains, Carabasset Valley, and the Oxford Hills, all the way into Penobscot Bay and down east is in extreme drought, okay? So it is extremely dry, obviously, there. That's where there are major issues. Now, to the south, where this storm is going to make a bullseye, is in New Jersey, Long Island, Connecticut, okay? For my friends down there, they're going to hit very hard. They're going to have 50-mile-an-hour wind. This is for, once again, for New Jersey, Delaware Bay, okay? Those places, the I-95 corridor, basically southern New England, they're going to get the 15 to 20 feet. They're going to get 45, 55 knots. They're going to get significant damage to structures along the coast. So those places are going to get hit very hard. So if you see here, the maximum wave height, okay, this is where the storm is really going to crank, okay, with those waves up to 20 feet or more near shore, okay? So from Cape May, Delmarva, all the way up Long Island Sound right here, okay, Cape Cod, Nantucket. Now I watch and put the map into motion for our friends in Maine here, okay? Watch. Notice here, the waves for you, because the astronomical tide is going down, thankfully, right now. You're saved by that. If this storm came in a week earlier, it would be complete, total devastation. But the astronomical tides are going down. The king tide is going down. It just peaked. If it was going up, if this was, a week ago, this storm would have been catastrophic. It'll be bad, but it's not going to be catastrophic for most places. There'll be some places that are going to hit very hard. But the wave heights, the southern coast, the North Shore of Boston here, they go up. They're going to be around 10 feet here. That's going to be from Monday into Tuesday. Well, once again, the wave heights going down, okay? So, or the king tide going down, so that it won't be as bad. Now, Jerry, it didn't make it to a hurricane. It will be a tropical storm east of Bermuda. Jerry is also going to throw some waves to the north and west, okay? Jerry. So that's not helping the situation, okay? But fortunately, it's not an Aaron, it's a Jerry, okay? Which, if it was an Aaron and this nor'easter, that would have been a massive double whammy, right? So that's the forecast, and that's going to be happening here. I could bring up chat on my phone and see what we have here for chat. Let's go ahead here and see let's take a look and see what comments we have. Any questions in chat? Let's go ahead and check it out here in chat. Okay. Marion, hello. Tenley, hello. Okay. So we got some people in chat here. So I appreciate the comments. I have the chat room. If you have any questions, now would be a time to ask me those questions about the storm, and I'll try to answer as many as I can about the storm. But I can tell you, it's going to be. Let me turn the volume off so it doesn't. Okay. The Jennifer says a lot of trees are down inland. Yes. It is going to be breezy, but it's going to be far worse in New Jersey, in southern New York, in Connecticut, in Rhode Island, in Massachusetts, Long Island, I said that probably twice, Delmarva, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia. Okay, this is going to be far worse for them than it will be for Maine. And the place that's going to get the most beneficial rain from this is southern Maine, York County especially, Cumberland County, southern Oxford at most. Okay, waves around 10 feet there. Okay, so it's going to be rough, but it's not going to be anything like it's going to be in New Jersey. So that's the forecast. That's the update there. You know, if you have any questions, let me know in the chat room. It's great to see you, and I hope you're enjoying everything in Maine despite the drought. You know, I know it's rough. It's rough. These droughts come and go, and when there is a drought, thank you, Benjamin. A drought begets a drought, right? It's tough to break a drought, right? It's like tough to break a rainy pattern. That's why things are, stagnant like this. You need a big storm to break a drought, and Maine will not see a big storm from this. Just southern Maine, extreme southern Maine. So, but New Jersey is going to take the most of this. New York City, Long Island, they're going to get hit very hard. The coast of New Jersey, the boardwalk, all the way up and down. New York City, Long Island, everyone's going to get hit hard there. But in Maine, it's really York County gets hit the worst of all the counties in Maine from this storm. And it won't be devastating for York County. Okay, so that's the storm. And if you have any questions, I'll get to them after. I want to get this video up for my loyal followers. Thank you for being a subscriber. If you subscribe, you get a forecast for Maine every single day. Okay? Yes, lots of rain in coastal York County, yes. So basically the way the subscription goes, I think it's around $4 or $5 a month. So for $5 for one, a month, you get about 28 to 30 forecasts by me, made by me from scratch every day. Okay. Good morning. Thank you, Belinda, Terry. So you don't have to sign up for that, but you'll still get free stuff here quite often on Facebook. But also on my Patreon is the same thing. You get the forecast there and some behind the scenes stuff as well, into my personal life a little bit. You're welcome, Jennifer. So once again, it's completely optional. I'm not telling anyone that you have to subscribe to anything. It just helps me out, helps me pay some bills. And that's it. And you get that forecast every day. It gets posted in our private Facebook group, which is my subscriber hub, subscriber community, or on Patreon, okay, which is a private website where you get a forecast. You'll get the today forecast, tonight forecast, the marine forecast. You get the 10-day forecast, and you get a little blurb about the weather story, 10-day forecast for the mountains, inland, the coast. That's all on there on the subscription page. And I appreciate the help. I really do. It really helps a lot, and I appreciate it. It's a little bit. It goes a long way, and every dollar helps. So thank you so much. So that's the forecast. That's the update there. This is not going to be terrible for Maine. It could be better for Maine if you got more rain, but then you'd get more flooding. So the coast went through a lot a couple years ago. So watch out, York County. Everyone else, not a huge deal. And then down in New Jersey and New York, a much bigger deal. Much bigger deal for the coast of New Jersey. 20-foot plus waves coming there. So the coast there is going to get reshaped and damaged significantly. Structural damage there. So it doesn't have to be a hurricane or a tropical storm. It could be a wet nor'easter in October that can do a lot of damage here. This is not going to be I don't want to really throw out old, names of old storms. We won't get into all that actually, because let's let this storm play out and see what happens first. But there have been some bad ones in the past, obviously. October gales. So this big storm warnings are up for this storm here. I can bring up the radar right now. I could bring up weather-wise. Show you a little bit here. So you see where this will show you. Just before I go, let me show you this. So you see here. Check this out. So here's where you have your gale watches, storm warnings. okay, all the way up the coast. Here's Jerry, right, east of Bermuda right here. So Jerry will throw those waves to the west, okay? But then here's your nor'easter taking shape here. That's going to push up that way. Okay, so there will be some impacts. There are some watches up. This is a gale warning up. This is off the coast of Maine. This is not yet along the coastline. For the coastline, it's a gale watch, gale warning. That's off. Gale watch is near shore. Okay, but really it's here in New Jersey. This is where you have a storm warning and a small craft, okay? Storm warning, small craft, okay? You've got flood watches, coastal flood warnings. I mean, the coastal flood warnings here, let's take a look at it here. Detail, major coastal flooding. This is down in Barnegat, light. So, yeah, it's a strong coastal storm. Obviously, it's a nor'easter. 8 a.m. Sunday, 8 p.m. Monday. 2 to 3 feet inundation. So inundation means that the ocean comes on shore. That's what inundation means. That's storm surge, inundation, okay? So storm surge is when the ocean decides it wants to come on shore, okay? So inundation means underwater, okay? So Hempstead, Islip, Brookhaven, this is all Long Island stuff here. It's gonna be bad. The storm warning here, 6 a.m. to Sunday to 6 p.m., up to 35 knots, 6 to 9 feet there for the waves, up towards Montauk, Sandy Hook. Okay, so yeah, and then just you go out into the ocean farther, right? And here you've got things here, 30 to 40 knots, 35 to 50 knots. Okay, seas 8 to 14 feet, 26 feet here, 26 feet. You can see that. Okay, and that's just offshore by a few miles. Okay, so it's going to be a devastating storm there. Now up in Maine, not nearly as much here. Now there will be some watches and warnings that go up the next day or so, but overall, really this is it's a gale watch for 9 to 14 feet. Okay, near shore. That's from Cape Elizabeth down to the Merrimack River, out 25 nautical miles. Okay, so that's the update there. So I thank you for watching. Jason Nappy Weather. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll keep it going. I'll just briefly show you the forecast here, and just kind of scroll through that because I know people are like to watch this kind of stuff here. So let me just go through the forecast in Maine before I let you go. The fall weekend here would be dry until Monday. To the south, nor'easter to the south with minimal impacts in Maine. Now the forecast the next 10 days shows it sunny to cloudy. The clouds are going to come in pretty quickly tomorrow, and then into Monday it's cloudy. This is for the mountains. Now only the western mountains has a chance of a few showers Tuesday. Northern mountains won't see anything from this. Okay, but it's going to get chilly too. Now inland, the showers will be to the south, basically south of Augusta. I don't expect the showers to make it to Augusta. Okay, so that's Monday to Tuesday. Okay, and then for the coast, it's only to the south, only the southern coast, the extreme southern coast, down to the seacoast, down North Shore of Boston. That's where the rain's going to be. It's not going to be, Casco Bay at most. Okay, it's not going to be. I don't even think the mid coast gets this rain. Certainly not Penobscot Bay, but there will be some seas building there. Temperatures there in the 60s here. So that's the forecast for Maine. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon.